Speaking of missions, how can we not discuss China's frenzied expansion of its frontiers? China is pushing its borders far out into international waters. The speed and scale of this military aggression is unprecedented. Tonight, let me give you 10 instances, not one or two, 10, of how the Chinese regime is using this pandemic to wage a silent war. 10 military moves in the last 4 months. Number one, encroachment of Indonesian fisheries. This is still happening, by the way. The first instance was reported in the month of January. An incursion by a Chinese Coast Guard vessel near the North Natuna Islands. Indonesia had to beef up its naval defenses. This area is internationally recognized as part of Indonesia, but China is infamous for violating the sovereignty of others. The result is this: Chinese incursions in Indonesian waters have not stopped. Number two, ramming a Taiwanese Coast Guard vessel. This happened on the 16th of March. At least 10 Chinese speedboats entered Taiwan's territorial waters. They attacked a patrol vessel which was clearing illegal Chinese fishing nets. Number three, targeting a Japanese naval ship. This happened in the East China Sea on the 30th of March. A Chinese fishing vessel collided and badly damaged a Japanese maritime destroyer. China said this vessel was sailing in its waters and endangering its safety. Since when did fishing vessels start behaving like maritime militia? The fourth instance, sinking a Vietnamese fishing boat. This happened near the Paracel Islands on the 2nd of April. The fishing boat sank after being hit by a Chinese Coast Guard vessel. A crew of 8 on board the boat was captured and detained. China's excuse was the same: threat to its interests in the South China Sea. Number 5, unwarranted drills in the Taiwan Strait. April 11th. Chinese fighter jets conducted drills just miles away from Taiwan. The reason? America's support for Taiwan's sovereignty. A U.S. destroyer was transiting through Taiwan on this day. How could China not flex its military muscle? Instance number 6, deploying an aircraft carrier in the Miyako Strait. This happened just 2 days later on the 13th of April. In case you don't know, Miyako Strait is a strategic international waterway. Nobody can lay claim to this strait. Try telling that to China. It deployed an aircraft carrier, 2 guided missile destroyers, 2 multi-role warships, and a fast combat support ship near the strait. For what? Military posturing. The 7th instance, deploying an exploration vessel near Malaysia. I've come with dates today. The 16th of April, China sent a quote-unquote survey ship to the Malaysian exclusive economic zone. A survey activity inside Malaysian waters. For what? To study marine life? The 8th example, establishing new districts in South China Sea. This was first reported on the 19th of April. China announced new administrative districts in the contested waterway. Administrative districts for what purpose, we ask? The Global Times said, for better management. You have to give it to them. What better way to manage disputed islands than setting up colonies there? The 9th instance, expelling a U.S. vessel conducting routine operations. This happened last week. Beijing accused Washington of taking advantage of the coronavirus pandemic by aggressively intervening in the South China Sea. Taking advantage of the pandemic. This is a bit rich coming from China. And now the 10th instance, giving official names to islands in the South China Sea. Chinese authorities released standard names for 25 islands and reefs in the South China Sea in the month of April. The Global Times said that the standardization of names reflected China's sovereignty over these islands. What were they thinking? Just by naming islands in your language, you do not begin to own them. Now for the twist in the tale. After all this military aggression, this is what China's experts are advising China's government. Hold your horses. That's what they're saying. This is not the time for military adventurism. This is Chinese experts saying. And that China should instead focus on achieving a good life for its citizens. The man saying this is Qiao Liang, a retired Air Force Major General in China. He is regarded as a hawkish voice in Beijing. He says that using the coronavirus pandemic as an opportunity to attack Taiwan would be too costly. It would damage the more important goal of national rejuvenation. He says that a good life for 1.4 billion Chinese people would not be served by launching attacks. Fair point. A good life is a good goal, though a tough one for a country that hid an outbreak and endangered lives, not just of its own people, but the whole world. For whatever it's worth, the general's advice is sound. We hope China follows it, and we fervently hope that the general does not disappear for dispensing advice.